And so I'm like, well, I sure as fuck ain't going over to pet the goddamn thing. Is it like facing me? And he's like, yeah, it's staring right at you. It's twitching its little nose. It's cute. I'm like, uh-huh. Okay, I'm gonna turn around and try and make a beeline for the door. He's like, okay. You back up a couple of feet and you turn around, but before you can actually book it to the door, you realize that there is no more door, only wall. The door has vanished. I'm like, oh, you son of a bitch. Because now I definitely know something's up. Now I know something fucked up's gonna happen to me. I don't know exactly what it is. I have an inkling that I'm about to get my ass kicked by a fluffy little bunny. You know, he's gonna hop up and like kick me in the face and like knock my brains out the back of my head. And just bust my skull wide open with like one little hop. Well, he didn't do that. He said, you start to hear a terrible, just blood curdling sound. Just, horrible, gut wrenching, roar come from behind you. I'm like, roar? He's like, yeah. Just the most hideous kind of dreadful roar. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, alright, Scott. Let's do this. What's gonna happen to me? What's this fucking rabbit gonna do to me? And I'm like, Rohan turns around. Spear at the ready. It's like, okay. And the way he describes it is like this. He's like, the bunny starts to grow in size rapidly. Its body is about twice your size now. But the head is slightly more elongated than the body. And you can see that the jawline is starting to stretch back. And you can see that its arms are starting to form into these pseudo raptor claws. And you can see its legs starting to form the same way into these, pseudo raptor hind legs. I'm like, oh my fucking god. And he's like, all of a sudden, its face finally gets done stretching out, and it's got these vein-induced yellow eyes and bright red pupils, and it opens its incredibly huge mouth to show you 2 rows of very sharp teeth all the way around. And it's just got this Pac-Man sized mouth full of these, nasty fucking teeth. I'm like, oh shit. And I'm like, I'm not making it out of this room, alright? He's like, nope. I'm like, alright. And I'm like, I charge it with all my might, and make a lunge for it with my spear. It's like, okay. So began the, the last few moments of Rohan. I'm like, okay, here I go. I charge it for a forward lunge of my spear, and I go, ah! And I roll my die. And I get, I don't get a high enough number, right? And so Rohan goes in, and this is how it happens exactly. Rohan goes in for a forward thrust of his spear, and the giant bunny monster hops off to the side of my character and just Pac-Man chomps down on his side, killing him in one bite. Like, the force of the bite is so powerful, and it does so much damage to me, there's no way I could possibly live through it. One single bite, my character's gone. But it doesn't end there. Oh no. Because, of course, every death up to this point has got to be this gory fucking imagery mess. And everybody's been waiting, to see how I'm gonna get it. Because I'm the last guy left, right? And now there's a big mutant fucking bunny just eating me. Tearing me to shreds. And he's like, he chomps down on the upper half of you, and he kills you instantly. And then he takes you, and he starts writhing your dead corpse around, thrashing you. And he takes his hook-like raptor claws, and he digs each, his each claw into your leg, his right and his left, to, your legs. And he uses that to pry you, the top part of you right off. And there's blood flying everywhere, all over the walls. And he rips you in half. And he eats the top portion of you. And then he takes your legs and he splits those in half. And then he eats your legs like drumsticks. That's nice. And he's like, the end. And everybody is just kinda like, I can't believe I showed up for this. you know? And so ends Rohan Nighthawk. Without a shred of dignity. He didn't get to die an honorable death. He got torn apart very violently by a giant pink bunny monster. Made it all the way to the end. He persevered and pushed through, and he was, the weakest character in the entire group. He was just starting out, he was a level 2, but, he made it. Granted, it's because the others were taking the brunt of the whole thing, but, he made it. The very end, and he got killed in the most ridiculous way possible. And that was my very first experience with D&D, and it kind of deterred me from D&D for, years. I mean, after that, I was just pretty much like, fuck D&D. I don't need it. It's stupid. Why would I want to play it again? I had kind of a terrible experience, and I was just like, I'm not even going to bother with it anymore, And it was years before I actually started up again. But I am glad that I did. Because once I did end up starting it up again, I found a really good group of nice, people to play D&D with. People that actually played D&D for the love of D&D and not just to put people through, you know, the meat grinder gauntlet, as it were. So, yeah, um, that was my very first experience with D&D. Poor, poor Rohane, though. Oh God, God, it's so bad. I don't know, and kind of thinking back on it, the characters I've created, and the NPCs that I've created too within my games. Um, I would think that a multi spear wielding, uh, you know, tribesman, it's not such a half bad idea. A dude who's just gonna chuck a spear into you with like 10 other spears behind his back. Another one ready at the go, after the first one hits, and a crossbow off to the side. That doesn't sound too bad, you know. You know, I might have need to have some fun with it. Maybe, later down on in the future, maybe a descendant of the Nighthawks can re-pick up the mantle later on in the future somewhere. But yeah, that that was the unfortunate tale. My very first character, Rohan Nighthawk. And, first experience with D&D. Until next time.